My name is Judy Whalen. I have written school board members about specific concerns that I have had about the calendars, and I understand there are pros and cons to each calendar, and that each side can be argued successfully. I appreciate the fact that 2 of the 5 board members took time to reply to my email. Of those 2, 1 board member gave me her phone number to call. The other board member called me. Although I don't necessarily think we agreed on any of the issues that I addressed, I felt like I was heard. I felt valued. I felt my input mattered. 2 out of 5. 2 board members' responses meant this to me. We hear you. Thank you for calling. I appreciate your input. Whether they physically said that or not, that was the impression they left. And the 3 board members who did not respond at all, their non-response said to me, your opinion doesn't matter. Thank you, Claudia Jimenez and Debbie McKay, for taking the time to talk to me. As a 24-year employee of this school district, I really wanted to discuss the morale of teachers in this district. It is the lowest I have ever seen. And it isn't low because of the economy. It is low because this underlying thread in everything the district does reflects the same inattention and apathy. Teachers are unappreciated, undervalued, and often ignored. The example I just gave to you about your behavior, 2 out of 5 responses, is 40%, and 40% in any teacher's gradebook is an F. Teachers do not ask for the impossible. We ask for things that are reasonable. We are not asking you to stop the rain on an April afternoon. We are asking for an umbrella. We feel like you've driven us in that same, we feel like you have driven by us in that same rainstorm and deliberately steered through a puddle to splash us. I urge you to do something about the morale of this district. You could start by honoring the work of the calendar committee. Approve the calendar committee's recommendation. Thank you.
My name is Kathy Ziegler. I'm a teacher at Sebastian River High School, and I've been in the district as a teacher since 1994. I have given you a copy of my resume because I think it's very important when anyone talks for you to know who that person is. I will be coming back in about a month to talk to you about how to lie with statistics, and that's part of it. But right now, I'd like to talk about the process, just the process for developing the calendar. And I know this has been discussed already, but I'm concerned because I have done just some searching as a person from the public might be. There are 2 copies of the calendar on tonight's agenda. The superintendent recommends approval of one and not of the other. As far as I can tell, based on extensive searching on the district website, neither of these calendars was available in advance. There is on the agenda addendum for tonight a comment that deals with the fact that a copy of the calendar is on the e-agenda, but you access e-agenda and there's no such thing. At least it's not available to us. I have, in addition, attached a copy you've already received of the school board policy, but I'd like to emphasize some things that I've highlighted for you. This is school board policy. You guys created it. If you didn't create it, these are the rules by which you, the elected representatives of our community, should operate. The proposed calendar shall be prepared by an advisory committee composed of staff members appointed by the superintendent and shall include at least one, and it goes on. Okay? The superintendent is allowed to provide assistance. I'm looking at D right now. Superintendent or his designation provides technical assistance and advice in a place accessible to the public. This entire policy suggests that this is an open, public, community-involved calendar creation. There is no mention anywhere in the school board calendar policy about the superintendent's leadership council having any role whatsoever. In fact, in attempting to learn about the superintendent's leadership council, through a search of the school district's website, there was no information available except the 2 additional pages attached on the handout, one of which says virtually nothing, and the next one says access denied. So I don't even know who these people are. And government in the sunshine does not seem to apply in this district, at least in this case. The lack of openness on the part of the superintendent and his leadership council, whoever they might be, is unacceptable, and I strongly encourage the board to refuse to consider the 2010-2011 instructional calendar developed by this phantom group. Thank you.
Good evening. Can you hear? I'd just like to first mention that I also wrote letters to all board members and only received responses from Claudia and Debbie, and I thank you too for that. I'm shocked that the board is considering a school calendar that was not proposed by the calendar committee. It appears that when the superintendent does not get his way, he makes up a new calendar and expects the board to follow like sheep, as if we are in a dictatorship. Also, why would the superintendent be able to be rehired after being in the drop program? Teachers are not permitted to do that. Why the double standard? I am very unhappy that you, the board, are choosing to make negotiations, yet again, very difficult for teachers. I will remember that. Who knew that I would long for the days of Roger Deering?
You know what, Ms. Johnson?
No, that's yours. You need to do that.
Ms. Johnson, I'm going to.
We learn by doing.
Yes, well. My motion now is to send it back to the calendar committee with the direction that has already been given to be brought back on what's the date? March the 23rd.
Second. Thank you. Would you like to speak to your motion, Ms. Mackay?
No.
Any discussion? Are you reaching for your buttons?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. All right. Okay, we have a motion to send the calendar back to the calendar committee and to reconsider it on March 23rd. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, 5-0.